Okay, so there's like 8 questions here.
Okay.
So yeah, what year was it, and how old were you, and where did you live when you cause did you join, right?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
So what year was it, how old were you, and where did you live?
I joined in 1963, in October of 1963, and I was 17 years old. I turned 17 in early October, so I was only 3 weeks into my 17th year. And I lived in Chicago.
Okay. I thought I heard, didn't you have to like say something else? Cause weren't you like too young to
Yeah,
join?
I had to have my mom, which was your great grandma. She had to go down with me and sign the papers because I was too young.
Okay, so next one, so why did you enlist, and like what were your views on the war and like politics and like communism and current events at the time?
Well, I enlisted because I wanted to help defend the country, and being only 17, I didn't know a whole lot about politics, but a lot of people were going into the war, so I wanted to join them.
Did you have like a lot of friends who probably go into?
No, I didn't have. No, I didn't. No. And I was still in high school, and I was struggling in high school, so I thought I'm going to go do this. So I dropped out of high school to join.
So you were on like a boat, right?
Yeah. Well, I went to boot camp in San Diego, and then after that I went to radio school in San Diego because they test you to figure out what you're going to be good at. So they thought I'd be a good radioman. So I went to radio school, and then when I graduated from radio school, they assigned me on a Navy flagship, the USS Mount McKinley, in 1964.
So was that one of the only places that you were like? Was that like the only place that you were kind of like stationed at?
That's right. That was my whole. I was in for 3 years, and first 10 months I was in training, and then I was on that Navy ship for 26 months, and then I got off the Navy ship and got discharged out of San Diego.
And what were the conditions and just like living like on
the ship? Well, the ship was called a flagship, so it was a communication ship, and it carried 500. The crew was 500 people, and there were 500 sailors, and there were 15 Marines on board, and we were a Marine communication detachment. And we had in our area where we had our sleeping quarters, the bunks were 3 high, and we had lockers for our dress blues, and we kept all our other stuff in our bunks. They were aluminum bunks with a foam mattress, and there was one real low to the ground, one about waist high, and one up kind of high, and that's how they were in the sleeping quarters.
So did you like were you ever like, so when you were there with your like other soldiers, were you ever like a leader to anyone, or like have like a military rank to anyone else?
No, I was a lance corporal, so I wasn't really in charge of anybody else. It was a really small detachment, and we were specialists. We were all radiomen, so we would stand radio watch with the sailors.
So did you like did you ever like operate any like machinery or vehicles or anything, or did you, like you said, like with the code with that?
Didn't operate any heavy machinery. We operated all the radio equipment on the ship. There was a bunch of different radio equipment we had to learn how to operate, and yeah.
Okay, so did you because when you were on the ship, did you ever experience any like fighting or any battles, or was it just on the ship and?
Well, we coordinated the amphibious assault landing in Da Nang in 1965, where the Marines hit the beach, and but there wasn't, we weren't in any combat, but we were in Da Nang Harbor when the Marines hit the beach, but it was they called it an unopposed landing, so there wasn't really any fighting
Wait, so
going
what
on.
was the
It was the first. It was the amphibious assault landing.
how is that spelled?
AMPHIBOUS.
So, okay.
Assault landing.
Yeah.
Hey girls.
So, how long did you study well, you said like 10 months, but, did you ever use it to, like, communicate well, actually, how did you, how was it like, learning Morse code? Like, how were you, like, taught, and, did you ever use it in, like, critical, like, situations?
Yeah, well, after boot camp, I went to radio school, and for I think it was 18 weeks, and they taught us Morse code and how to operate the radios and everything. So that's how I learned it, and that was before I got sent to the ship. And we used to stand watch, and there were two kinds of watches. One was a radio watch where you would talk into a microphone. The other one was Morse code where you'd use code to send messages. So we did it all the time. Yeah, we sent code messages all the time.
So did you ever use it to, like, communicate in, like, critical situations?
Well, you never knew if it was critical or not. That was just what you did all the time.
Okay. So how did you feel after the war? Were you, like, satisfied with the outcome, or were you kind of relieved to be gone from it?
I was glad to be gone, but I was disappointed in the whole war because a lot of lives were lost for nothing.
Okay. Thank you.